Hi guys, I am back. Bentley's going to be with me hopefully for a little while. He just ate, so he should be pretty good to go for a while. Um, Tomorrow will be actually 3 weeks post-op, and I wanted to do an update today just while I was thinking about it and while I had some things on my mind and some other great news to share with you guys. Basically, he's been doing great. I think my last update was last Thursday after his appointment where they stretched his tongue again and everything, and we got that wonderful weight, which showed he had gained so much. And so today is just more good news. I'm mainly going to be sharing with you about his feeding and my milk supply and things like that. So more so about me, which has to do with him, of course, but mainly about how my milk's been doing and how we've been feeding and things like that. I'm going to pull up his feeding log real quick. So let me switch here. My milk supply has been phenomenal. I'm just so excited to report that it's going great. I mean, I let me count the days. I had it in my head. So he has not had formula in 7 days. So no formula in 7 days, which is great. We had some cans that the doctor's office gave us, free sample cans, but then I went out and bought some more. We have 7 full unopened cans plus a little bit left of another one that the doctor gave us. So all 7 of those cans that I bought, I doubt we'll ever even use. I'm gonna keep at least 1 can though, but we're trying to sell the rest just to get some of our money back because it was the organic baby formula and it was quite expensive. So I'm just going to keep 1 for now, just as a reserve, just in case. But you guys, no formula, and it's been 7 days, like I said. So that's been great. As far as my milk, though, the big news today is I have not been able to pump and store in the freezer any extra milk since May 27th. I've had 1 bag since May 27th and in the freezer, and it's been there for 2.5 months, and we haven't used it because it's been my one last emergency bag of milk. So today, though, I was able to freeze 2 bags, a 4-ounce bag and a 5-ounce bag. So that is excellent news. That's a total of 16 ounces that we have in the freezer right now, which would be 4 feedings for him, which is how much he eats in a day. So I was telling my husband earlier that I'm actually comfortable leaving him, at the grandparents all day. If my husband and I were talking about going to a theme park around here, Busch Gardens, for the day, or just doing whatever for a day, maybe one of the like Water Country, one of the water theme parks around here. But I didn't want him to be on any formula, and so I was kind of worried about being away from him for that long. And it probably wouldn't be for 4 full feedings. It wouldn't be for like all 12 hours, the whole day, but just to have extra. So we have extra now. We have milk now, and I'm gonna once I get closer to the day that we decide to, go to Busch Gardens or whatever. A few days before that, I'll start to try to pump and save extra and do more. But this is just he's about to sneeze. This is just I've been pumping. I pump every night when he goes to bed, and so usually that gets used, or it has been recently, but the past 2 days it hasn't. So I've been able to freeze it. It's actually been in the fridge. I've had the 4-ounce bag in the fridge for 3 days. You should refrigerate for 3 to 7 is what's recommended, but ideally no more than 3, and then you should freeze it. So I just said, heck, I'm just gonna freeze it because he doesn't need it right now. He's been doing great. We just looking at his feeding log. So yesterday, Sunday, he did not need a bottle at all. He nursed all day long. And then Saturday, he also nursed all day long. The only bottle he got Saturday was Saturday night at midnight. So he fell asleep early, like around 6 o'clock. He usually goes to bed between 8 and 9, and that's when his last feeding is also. And so he'll usually nurse like 9, 1, 5, 9, and then so like every 4 hours, and then he'll have like an early morning, I call it a middle of the night feed, but it's more like a 4 to 5 a.m. feed, which I've told you guys about. So he eats 5 times a day. He nurses 5 times a day. We've introduced solids, which he eats 3 times a day, about an hour or two after he nurses. So, and I think that has also helped with, you know, spacing out his nursing, his feedings, so that I can have enough milk to nurse him about every 4 hours. It's also helped with his weight, you know, obviously. But what happened Saturday, he nursed all day Saturday, didn't get any bottles or anything, but fell asleep early. So by the time 11 o'clock came around, it had been about 5 hours, maybe 5.5 hours since he ate, and I just had to pump because I didn't know when he was going to wake up. You know, sometimes he goes 8 to 10 hours at night before he wakes up, even if he misses that last feeding. And so I was engorged, I was really full, so I had to pump. Well, I pumped 6 ounces, which is great because, you know, that means that I'm making a little bit more than an ounce per hour. It had been 5 to 5.5 hours, and I pumped 6, so that's great. You should average about an ounce an hour or more to keep up with your baby's needs. So that made me feel really good. That was a good sign. And of course, 15 minutes after I turned off my pump, what does he do? He wakes up. But it was fine. I just fed him what I just pumped, and it was no big deal. He went back to sleep and, you know, woke up. I'm not sure exactly when, but he woke up and nursed after that, and, you know, continued to nurse the rest of the day and all weekend long. So it was absolutely fantastic. So I don't really count that as a bottle. He fell asleep, and then I gave him what I pumped. So kind of, you know, doesn't really count in my book. But before that, so Friday, looks like Friday he only got 1 bottle as well. And then Thursday he got 6 ounces of pumped milk. And I can't really think back to why that would have been. I know he got that stretch, so he may have been just too sore to nurse or something. And occasionally what happens is when we do nurse, if it's like 10 minutes or less, or even 5, or if he's really fussy or really tired, or if he's sore from me just doing his stretches or something like that, or if whatever, you know, he is getting better every day. But in the past couple of days, what would happen if he didn't nurse long enough, I would then just give him pumped milk and pump, you know, afterwards. Like I've said before, you know, you don't want to nurse for just 5 or 10 minutes and then say that was it. You have to make sure that your breasts are stimulated for, I prefer at least 20 minutes. So I'll pump, if he eats for 10, I'll pump for like 15 minutes just to make sure. But that's, you know, that's just me. Everybody's different. So that's what happened over the past couple of days. So yay for no formula, no bottles. I was also trying to remember the last time I had to use the SNS, and I cannot remember it. I know it was the week of his surgery, and tomorrow will be 3 weeks since his surgery. So it's been at least 2 weeks since I've used the SNS, you guys, you know, with the feeding tube and all. And that is a big, big deal for me, especially. The SNS was just cumbersome. It was, you know, preparing the bottle, you know, setting him up to nurse, putting the tube in his mouth, the tube would come out, putting it back in. I mean, the whole ordeal took forever, and it was just a pain to do it 4 times a day. So, you know, to not have to do that, I haven't done it in at least 2 weeks, and I wish I wrote down the last time I used the SNS, but I didn't. But at least 2 weeks it's been since I've had to use it. So that's just more great news. I'm just so happy, you guys. It's been, you know, about a week and a half ago when I was talking about wanting to give up because it was just so stressful and so much, and I didn't know if I could keep up with him, and worried about his weight. And then things just turned around. You know, my milk came in, you know, is continuing to increase. I think that with his tongue revision healing, he's able to latch better and nurse better and more efficiently, so as to stimulate my breasts to produce more milk on their own. Now I am taking that drug, the domperidone, that I've talked about in previous videos. I was on it for 3 weeks until I decided to increase my dose last Thursday. So I increased it to kind of what most women max out on that are breastfeeding and trying to increase their supply. And if you guys want me to do like a Q&A video, or if I don't cover something that you guys want to know about, comment below. I haven't had any comments on my videos, so so feel free to comment and just ask me questions, or ask me to do a video on something or whatever. I try to do videos to update my family, but it's become more of an educational thing to anybody out there in the virtual world, you know, likes to watch YouTube like me for informational purposes, or just to watch what other people are going through. And so that's what it's become, more so than just family updates. So if you guys have specific questions or things I haven't covered, then just let me know, comment below, and I can do a Q&A video, or I can do a video on something else that you guys want. He, like I said, he's just doing great. I couldn't be happier. And after that increase, after I increased the domperidone last Thursday, as you can tell, you know, I was able to nurse him all weekend. I'm able to now freeze. I've got 16 ounces in the freezer, like I said. And so I feel great today. I feel great. You know, Bentley's happy and healthy and wonderful. I haven't weighed him at home on our scale. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow just to see what he's at. He got his weight on Thursday, you know, when we went to check out his tongue again. So they did get a quick weight. It was the same. It was actually the same. He was still 14.2, and that's what he was on Monday. So that kind of made me actually a little bit like, you know, wonder why he didn't gain any, and that would have been 3 days. So I wonder why he didn't gain any weight, even an ounce or two I would have expected, because he gained 30 ounces in 11 days. So I would have expected him to have gained something, but he didn't. So I probably will weigh him tomorrow on my scale, which, you know, scales are different, don't forget. So whatever I get, and if you're doing it at home and you happen to have a scale at home, don't forget that it can be completely different readings at your, you know, the scale that you have, and then at the doctor's office as well. So don't let it discourage you if you know, if you happen to get a lower reading at home than what you got, you know, at the doctor's office. So, so yeah, I'll probably weigh him tomorrow, but I did want to let you guys know about that, about, you know, how well he's been doing and my milk is doing, and just, I'm in a much better, my spirit is a lot higher. I'm much more positive nowadays. I am definitely not giving up anytime soon. You know, I've always said that I would breastfeed him for as long as I possibly could, which it's looking like it will be until we, you know, get pregnant with the next one, which, you know, don't know when that'll be. It'll be a while. We're not planning on number 3 anytime soon. We're just trying to survive our 2 that we have now. But, you know, because my pregnancy will be high risk with number 3, since both of my boys were preemies, I'll be high risk. So when you're high risk, they recommend that you do not breastfeed, because breastfeeding actually can cause uterine contractions. So we don't want that at all, of course. So when I do get pregnant with number 3, that's when we'll definitely wean him and stop him. And I, you know, like I've said, I want to go back to work really, really badly. I'm working on it. I'm thinking about it. My husband does travel a lot, though, so that's a big concern for me. If I can commit to a job, even if it's, you know, PRN as a nurse, it's PRN just means as needed. You work 1 day a month, or 2 days a month, or once a week, or however often you want to work, and however often they need you. So I'm really looking into doing that again. It would be great for me, and I can pump at work, and, you know, I can feel confident knowing that he'll be getting breast milk. Just like I mentioned, he would be getting it if my husband and I, if and when my husband and I decide to go away for a day, like to a theme park or something. So I think that'll be nice, and that's in the works, but just a lot to think about as far as my husband's travel and committing to a job and all that, but that'll be great. So like I said, we're doing great. We're not stopping. I feel great today. Bentley's doing wonderfully. If you guys, like I said, please comment below with any questions. If you wanted me to cover anything specific, and maybe my next video can be a Q&A. I would really like to do that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to share or go over with you guys, but I really don't think there is. Other than just we've been nursing like crazy all weekend and for the past 3 days, and haven't had to give him formula for 7, and his weight is great. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. I'm up to 15 minutes. Sorry, I know it's lengthy, but there's a cute baby to watch, so there's always that. But so yeah, my next video, maybe it'll be a Q&A. Otherwise, we're doing great. And if you guys are watching this and need some encouragement, and if you're in the place that I was at, a week or two ago, don't give up. Please, if you feel discouraged, reach out, get help. La Leche League is great. They're free advice. I use them a lot. Even though I have an IBCLC that I work with, a lactation consultant that I work with, I still reached out to La Leche League just for advice. I emailed them one night, and they wrote me back the same night. They're great. And they have free meetings. It's just a great organization. They're worldwide, so they're in your area, and it may be a distance away for a meeting depending on where you are, but they are free over the phone, email, whatever. Reach out to me. Let me know if I can do any other videos to help you out with something else specific that you might be going through that I didn't go through, or maybe that you don't know I may have gone through. So just let me know, and I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to stop because it is getting to be long, and I know that's not good. So just let me know what you guys need or want or are curious about. We're doing great, and I'm gonna hold him up one more time just because he's so cute and he's doing so well. So we're doing great though, and we'll see you next time with the next video. Bye.